how much capital you really need, most beginners ask the wrong question. They ask, how much money do I need to start trading? But the real question is, how much money can I afford to lose without breaking my life? Because trading is not an ATM. It is a probabilistic environment where loss is part of the learning cost. If the money you trade with carries emotional weight, your decisions will never be rational. So before we talk about numbers, we need to talk about mindset. Welcome to the Phantom Trader world, where clarity comes before execution. The first rule is simple. Never trade money you need for rent, food, bills, or security. The market does not care about your obligations. It does not reward desperation. And it punishes emotional pressure very efficiently. Now let's talk about capital itself. Technically, you can start trading with almost any amount. $100, $500, even less. But the question is not whether it is possible. The question is what kind of trader that capital forces you to become. Small capital creates pressure. Pressure leads to overtrading. Overtrading leads to mistakes. This is why many beginners blow small accounts quickly. Not because the account is small, but because expectations are unrealistic. If you start with small capital, its role should be education, not income. Think of it as tuition. Paid market tuition. Your goal at this stage is not to grow fast. Your goal is to survive long enough to learn. Now let's address a common myth. You need money to make money. This statement is partially true and dangerously misunderstood. Yes, larger capital gives you flexibility. It allows better position sizing. It reduces emotional stress. But large capital also hides mistakes. Traders with too much money often hold losing positions longer. They justify bad decisions because they can afford them. And that is how large losses are born. So paradoxically, too much capital can slow learning. What really matters is relative risk, not account size. A trader risking 1% consistently on a small account is developing better habits than a trader risking random amounts on a large one. Now, let's make the conversation practical. There are 3 different capitals you should separate mentally. First, living capital. This is the money your life depends on. Rent, food, obligations, emergencies. This money must stay out of the market. Second, learning capital. This is the money you can lose without damage. It is used to build skill, not income. Third, growth capital. This is money you deploy only after you prove consistency, because it is meant to scale results, not test ideas. Most beginners mix all 3 into one account. That is why every trade feels personal. When one number represents your safety, your hope, and your future, the chart becomes emotional. So how much capital do you really need? Depends on which phase you are in. Phase 1, learning. In this phase, the correct target is not profit. The target is data, repetition, and discipline. A learning account only needs to be large enough to do 2 things. 1, allow you to place trades with correct risk rules. 2, survive a long streak of mistakes without panic. Notice the goal is not make money. The goal is stay stable while learning. Here is a useful way to think about it. Instead of asking how much money do I have, ask what is my maximum acceptable loss for one trade. If you are truly learning, that number should be small and boring because you are not trying to win. You are trying to train. For example, if you set your maximum risk per trade at 1%, then a $500 account means you risk $5 per trade. A $1 zero account means $10 per trade. A $5 zero account means $50 per trade. The question becomes, can you emotionally tolerate losing $5 or $10 or $50 repeatedly while still executing your rules? Because you will lose. Not occasionally, regularly. And this is where many people misunderstand capital. They think small accounts are harder because profits are small. But the real difficulty is psychological. Small accounts tempt you to increase risk to feel progress. That temptation is the real danger. So if you are starting with small capital, you need to protect yourself from your own impatience. One simple rule can help. If your account size makes you want to speed up learning, then your account is not an asset. It is a pressure source. Now, let's bring in a realistic example. Imagine a beginner with $300. They risk $30 per trade because they want to feel the trade. That is 10% risk. 3 losing trades in a row and the account is broken. But the strategy is not the problem. The risk is. Now imagine the same beginner risks 1%, $3. They can lose 20 trades and still have the chance to learn. They can journal, they can review, they can adjust. The account stays alive long enough for the mind to change. This is why capital is not just a number, it is a system design choice. Now let's talk about market differences, because capital requirements change depending on where you trade. In stocks, regulations like the pattern day trader rule exist, which forces a minimum balance for active day trading. In crypto, forex, or CFDs, there is usually no such restriction. But freedom does not mean safety. No market removes risk. It only removes excuses. And sometimes, more freedom creates more self-destruction. Because when you can trade 24/7, you can also overtrade 24/7. So the right capital is the amount that allows you to trade small. Make mistake neutral. Continue learning without financial stress. For some people, that is $500. For others, it is $5 zero. For some, it is more. There is no universal number. There is only a personal threshold of psychological comfort. Let's define that threshold. Your capital is enough when you can do these 4 things. 1. Place a trade and immediately accept the stop loss as normal. 2. Take a loss and feel nothing urgent. 3. Take a win and avoid increasing risk out of excitement. 4. Stop trading for the day when conditions are not clear. If you cannot do these 4 things, adding money will not help. It will only amplify the same behavior. That brings us to a concept most beginners ignore: the difference between afford to lose and allowed to lose. Many people can afford to lose money, but they are not emotionally allowed to lose it. They will panic. They will chase. They will negotiate with stops. So the right capital is not the biggest number you can deposit. It is the number that keeps your mind calm. Now let's talk about life capital versus trading capital. If trading income is supposed to pay your bills, you are already late. Professional traders separate the two completely. They have living expenses covered independently, savings, buffers, time. Trading performs best when it is not required to perform. This is why many professionals recommend having months of expenses saved before even thinking about trading as income. Not because trading can't work, but because pressure destroys edge. If you feel that trading must work this month, you will force trades. And forced trades are usually low-quality trades. Now let's talk about expectations, because expectations determine whether your capital feels enough. If you believe trading will quickly replace a full-time salary, your capital will never be enough, because any normal drawdown will feel like failure. But if you see trading as a long-term skill, even a small account is sufficient to begin. Consistency beats size. Process beats ambition. Survival beats speed. The market rewards patience more than confidence. So the real answer to how much capital do you really need is this: you need enough money to stay rational while being wrong, because being wrong is guaranteed. Staying rational is optional. If your capital allows you to learn without panic, without revenge trading, and without pressure, then it is enough. Anything beyond that is just a tool. And like any tool, it only works as well as the hands that use it. One more detail matters: leverage and minimum sizing. In markets like crypto or CFDs, leverage can make any capital look bigger, but leverage does not create skill. It only magnifies outcomes. If you do not have consistent execution, leverage will simply accelerate the lesson in the most expensive way. Also, every market has practical limits, fees, spreads, and minimum order sizes. If your account is extremely small, fees can become a large percentage of your trade. That can push you toward overtrading or taking oversized positions just to beat the fees. So when capital is very small, your mission is not optimization. Your mission is clean repetition, few trades, clear rules, tight journaling. Here is a simple ladder you can use as a mental model: micro account, $100, $500 goal, learn mechanics, learn how stops feel, build discipline, focus, very small risk, very few trades, no income expectations. Practice account, $500 to $2,000 goal, build a repeatable routine and prove you can follow rules. Focus, position sizing, daily limits, and consistency over 50, 100 trades. Development account, $2,000 to $10,000 goal, stabilize performance and reduce emotional noise. Focus, protecting equity, avoiding overtrading, learning market conditions, scaling account, more than 10,000, goal, scale only after you have proven behavior. Focus, increasing size slowly while keeping the same process. This latter is not a promise. It is a framework to help you place capital in the correct role. If you skip roles, you skip learning, and the market charges you for skipping. If this video added clarity to how you see trading, support this work. An interaction tells the algorithm this foundation matters. A subscription tells me to keep building it with you.